I'm going to call the meeting of the Hpc to order, and I want to welcome the new member of this group, Beth Doucette, and Beth has been here before us, so she knows how we function, but we're happy to have you. And I want to welcome everybody who's come to speak or listen. We're glad you're here, and there are agendas back there if you need an agenda. Our first item of business is elections, and I understand we can postpone that.
And wait until you have more commission members here to do the elections. That can be postponed.
Okay. Do we need a motion to
To be
postpone?
safe, that might be nice.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to postpone elections until we have more commissioners present?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, and motion carries. Item number 2 is the consent agenda, which we should have all received in the mail. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that it be approved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. New business. The first action item is the request of Woodies Firehouse, LLC, to convert a side window into a door to meet building code at 1210 Rivermont Avenue. Is there someone here to speak to that? If you would come forward, please.
I've got to change my seats. This thing is driving me crazy.
Okay. And give us, please, your name and address.
Name's Tim Woodland. Address is 1210 Rivermont.
All righty, and
Okay.
would you tell us about your proposed renovation?
Well, my wife and I live at the old firehouse. We're working with the city now to convert the downstairs into a small meeting venue for weddings, receptions, birthdays, that sort of thing. And going through the process with the city, we had an architect involved to do a safety study. And one of the requirements is another means of egress for the number of people that we'll have participating. We chose this particular window because really you can't see it from either Bedford or Rivermont. It's blocked from both directions. We're going to have the window taken out. We have an old door. We tried to pick something that was old and historical to install in there. They're going to keep the same look of the trim work and everything like that. Original proposal was to paint it red, but all the other doors in the place are black, so we're just going to stick with keep it black.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Any questions?
This is my agenda item, and I'm very familiar with the firehouse, but I didn't have any questions or comments. I would move approval.
I second that. I drove by, you can't even see it from.
I have
Yeah.
a question.
Without driving by.
Could you go back to the, yeah, that picture, that one was fun. Go back again, that one. I did go out there and I looked on the interior of the building. I didn't look on the exterior. Is there any reason why you can't put the door in the block section of this building?
Talk about the cinder block?
Yeah,
It's beyond the part where the venue is
Yeah.
going to participate. The cinder block section was actually added in the 40s and is a garage that backs up to the original structure.
so the venue is going to be in the front portion?
Yes, sir, where you see the red brickwork, that's the original structure that was built in 1905.
And that tower, what is in that tower on that level?
That's the original hose drying tower. It's about 65 feet tall. It does have an opening inside.
is there any way that you could make that as sort of a foyer and make the block, that first window, the last window in the block right next to that, as a door, that if you added some walls, you could make that sort of a hall that would go into that space? I'm just trying to, I mean, again, I'm just sorry I hadn't gone out and looked at this, because I would have kind of went back inside. You don't have a plan of this, do you, by any chance?
There's one included with the packet.
All right, so. Okay, so that little tower, is there a, maybe, is it?
It's up there, I can see it.
Okay, so, is there a door in that tower?
There is, it's not shown in the plans. If you're looking at the square part where the tower is, oh, there you go, you got it. Ooh, now I have the power. Let's see, which one's the point? Oh, there we go. Right here, there's a sliding door, which is, they used to use it to access to bring the hose in, and then they'd run it up on the pulleys up to the top. There is no access. As a matter of fact, the architect requires we have to put a 2-hour fire rating all the way across here. So the window here and the window here, I've already put fire rated drywall in to create that fire stop. To kind of answer your question, I think you're indicating putting a door here and enclosing this. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't do it. I could, but I couldn't, because scratched on the wall back here in this brickwork, the original crew from 1905 scratched their initials and the date. If I put a door there, I would have to rip that out. And it's dead spot right there in the middle.
What is the back section going to be?
All this is just a great big garage where they used to work on the fire engines. There's 2 large doors, the original doors, that were built with the firehouse. But all that's been,
I mean, what will it be with the new venue?
just my workshop.
All right, can I see this little?
Sure.
Since you have to, where's
The green line,
this one?
on the top of the green line.
Just below the screen.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
there you go.
Okay. You're saying this has to be a firewall, correct?
Correct. But it has to have a fire rating.
Right.
The whole concept of
Is
the
it-
venue
is
is to
it-
be
is it possible-
roughly 100 people. And so that's the architectural plan, everything that's been presented is just to use that section of the old firehouse.
So
So
in
that
order-
was excluded.
What's the plan on how are you fireproofing that?
The windows have actually put up fire-rated drywall, which was what the architect had recommended. The original doors there are probably 2-inch thick old hardwood that are closed and locked off.
Is this possible? If you put a firewall there between those 2 pilasters, you could put a door here, come in here, and you wouldn't even have to fireproof that, or put a fire rating on that. That could be your fire-rated wall. And you wouldn't have to mess with any of this, and that would be a brand-new wall. You know, all you have to do is put 5/8 sheetrock and build that would be very simple. And you could cut it off, you could put another wall here and have, access from this space into there, but, I guess basically create a hall like this. But to me, if you put it all the way across, it'd be real simple. Don't have to mess with that at all as far as fire rating. Fire rate that wall and put your door in here, and it doesn't disturb any of this historic, the real nice historic portions of it. Is that? I'm just trying to,
Is it doable?
yeah, I'm just trying to find a way.
Yes, but it greatly increases the cost, and, because we'd have to go back
I
and,
thought it would decrease the cost, because you don't have to mess with that wall at all. You're just putting a 2x4 or 2x6, whatever that fire-rated wall is with fire-rated sheetrock on it. You get, you can get regular metal fire doors, whatever you have to do for a fire door on those to go into the other space, The historic doors you don't have to mess with, or anything on that historic wall of the original building that has to be fire rated.
Again, it's doable. It's not what our original plan is. It's increasing the square footage of what we originally had planned for. That's what the architect and the building inspector had agreed upon. We'd still have to put a door in. It's just the next window down. I mean, I appreciate what you're coming from, because we're, as I mentioned, with not taking that wall out with the initials carved in it, we're trying to change as little of the historical aspect as we possibly can.
You know, even by doing it on the other side, you know, we're gonna be less picky about what it looks like, because it's in a 19, whatever you said that was, 40s building.
Yeah, I just found out it was built in sometime in the 1940s.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's my take on it.
Anybody else want to comment?
So tell us what this door will be used for.
I'm sorry?
What will this door be used for?
Actually, it's just a means of egress. We were required, even with the bay doors, because if in the wintertime they wouldn't be open, based on the number of people that were going to be in the building, we had to provide another means of egress. Originally, it wasn't, but when the architect went back and looked again, he said, you're going to have to put another one in. And we picked that one because it was the most out of the way, both from the interior side and also from the exterior and the visibility. We didn't want the ones to the right. There's two of them to the right, but they're in the main bay. And we didn't want to use those because that's the main bay, and that would alter the way that looks. So that was the one that had the least impact on the historical aspect
It would
of
alter
the
the way
building.
it looks on the inside, on the interior, and on the interior.
Ma'am?
It would alter the way that it looks on the interior?
Right. It's a brick wall on the inside. The door that we have would fit within that opening. So basically, it's taking the brickwork out of the bottom and then having the door installed.
Now, is there a way to get to this door from the street? Or is it,
You could walk through the yard.
you can walk through the yard?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just, the reason why I asked that was because of the glass on the top. Would it be, I was thinking about the security of this door for that building?
Well, the
Would there-
door we actually have is going to have, it actually has glass in it, but it's going to be security glass, the
Oh,
old
good.
wire glass.
Okay, that's what I was, okay,
So, yeah, we're definitely keeping that in
Okay.
consideration.
very good, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not familiar with it, and you may have discussed it with the building inspectors. The code that requires you to have another egress coming out of the building, does it have to be coming out of the part you're using for the event?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if your idea would actually fit.
Well, yeah, that
work.
would be part of it. That would be part of the space.
We'd have to go back and redraw the plans and have the architect respec it out and kind of go from there.
Yeah, you see this, what they're doing is a life safety plan right here. So that is taking your furthest most point and saying, in following this to see what the least
Exactly.
amount of egress, of walking distance. So it's there. So basically, you'd be going from here, and instead of doing this, you would be doing this, I guess, or this, coming straight up. I'm not sure how they would do that and go up that way. What is this other window?
I'm sorry.
Where does this window?
Again, it's just part of the garage that was on the, that they added later on. That bay was actually used for repairing the fire trucks. At one
Now,
point.
So what he's doing is taking the longest route. That's what this is,
Well, there's also the door at the front that you gain entrance.
this one.
Just right there. And then there's also a door, top right-hand side where the kitchen is. So there will be three
Oh,
means
yeah.
of egress.
So they didn't allow this one?
That's a door that's already there.
I know, but why wouldn't they allow this as your second means of egress?
We have to have three.
You have to have three.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you got one there, one here, I think that would also work.
So I'm going to say that I don't have any problem with the proposal. You can't see it without walking down by the side of the building. and it is a wooden door. He's trying to preserve what is there.
What is here, a fence?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's an iron fence.
Of course, if the fence was ever, you can't see it now, but if the fence was ever gone, you would see it.
Well, you'd have to be on the side of the building to see it.
No, you could see it from the street. If that fence was down, if anyone ever took the fence down, and you were in the street, you can see this.
There's also a
Isn't
huge magnolia
there-
tree
Yeah.
there, too.
Isn't there
Yeah.
a tree there or something?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
I never even paid attention to that side of that building until it came up for
Yeah.
historic preservation. It's nice to see something being done with this building.
We absolutely love that place.
Yeah.
I'm retired fire department, so when it came up for sale, and my lovely wife was kind enough to agree, we had to do it.
So do I have a motion to either approve or not approve? So we
I don't
can,
think you, did you
A
get it?
motion on the table, right?
hmm,
There's a motion and a second on the table already.
okay. So any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
The next item is a request of Stephen Aiello, okay, sorry, to remove pavers and flagstone to replace with a concrete walkway at 3400 Rivermont. If you would tell us your name and address
I'm Stephen
and
Aiello at 3400 Rivermont Avenue,
Okay,
Lynchburg,
and-
Virginia.
tell us about your request, please.
The walkways to the terrace apartment in the rainy season, which we've had a lot of, that whole area where the flagstone is gets quite wet. I have done what I could to get the downspouts from the house into a drain tile and put it out about 18 feet away on that. You can just barely see the retaining wall on the left-hand side. So that helps, but in rainy weather, it becomes quite slippery. If you go back, you can see. And when my tenant moved out at the end of April, it was mud, basically. You'd see the cracks in it and squashed all the pavers that were there. So it's kind of messy in the winter and not very safe when it's raining. And I'd just like to put in a practical concrete sidewalk so it's easy to keep clean in the wintertime, raised up a little bit to keep away from the, keep it out of the water and keep the mud out. So if a tenant moves in or out during a wet season, it won't make a mess of the yard and the apartment with tracking mud and all that. So
Okay, thank you. Sean, do you have any comments since this is yours?
Where, is there a site plan on this anywhere?
no.
Just pictures.
This is at the corner?
It's the corner of VES, Rivermont, and Boonesboro, right across from Oakwood Country Club. This has access to VES, the apartment and the parking lot.
Is that side entrance? Okay.
Yes,
Go-
there's a wall right there.
You're the one that did all those windows.
Yeah, did not do the windows, thanks to you.
That's right.
Did put them on the back porch, and it's wonderful, but
So
that's the
what's
only
there
one.
now is just concrete blocks. What is that paver there?
Just, I don't even know how thick they are, probably concrete blocks about that thick, and I don't know when they were put in, I've only been there for 2 years. Obviously, they are not original to the house was built in 60.
And so you're
Two.
proposing to replace the concrete blocks with a concrete
Yeah.
sidewalk?
Yes, and remove the flagstone, which gets kind of slippery.
Where's the flag, the flagstone is to the right of that?
So you got
It's
flagstone,
closer to the entrance
concrete.
to the apartment.
Oh.
Yeah, all that down in front. There's a picture right there.
Hmm.
So you can see it got kind of squashed and pushed into the mud also when they moved.
I move that the application be approved as submitted.
Second.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
For your sidewalk. Okay, the next item is a request of Dennis G. Newton to build a shed roof entrance canopy over the basement entrance on the right side of the house at 505 Washington Street. Is Mr. Newton here? I don't see him. So,
Wait and see if he shows
yeah,
up.
we can, okay. All right. The next item is the request of David and Marsha Reuben Burke to replace the Facades wood with PVC look-alike and replace old stucco with new at 3101 Rivermont Avenue. All right, thank you. If you would
Thank you
tell
for
us
seeing us.
your name, address, and your project.
Thank you. My name is Dave Rubenberg, my wife Marsha. We're the owners of the home on 3101 Rivermont Avenue. The top area of the top right-hand picture, thank you, ma'am, exactly right there. The wooden, I've got about $4,000 over the past 15 years in mending, repairing, and mending, and plastic wooding. And I'm done. It is rotten again. Water is penetrating the old stucco, getting behind the wood and just rotting it almost from the back to the front. So I've bit the bullet because I'm 70 years old, and when I'm 81, I don't want to do it again. I just don't want to play with it, but I want it to look like it is. We love the house. So I've had to take out all of the rotten wood, which is the wood that comes both vertically and horizontally out, literally rotten, just breaking to pieces. And the stucco behind it was popping and disintegrating. It had to come out. So I'm replacing the stucco with stucco, but I wanted, hopefully, to replace the wood with, may I pass this around, sir?
Sure.
I know what it is, but
Okay. But this is a PVC material, which to me, and I'm a novice, looks identical to wood if you look at the side view of it, and it is grained, but it cannot weather or rot. And in putting that up, I no longer have the concern of rotting wood, which is what we've been there, Marsha, 25 years?
25 years.
25 years. And I don't have to worry about shrinkage, because if I put up wood and it shrinks away from the stucco, I'm right back where I started from. Or if I put up wood, I don't want to wait a year to paint it. The house would look terrible.
can I ask a question? Is this, I assume this is your contract?
This is my contractor, and for any questions, please direct it. I know nothing but how to write that check.
Have you determined, I'm just gonna shut this off in case it goes off on me here. Have you determined the issue of why it's doing what it's doing? Because that would be the most important thing, I would think.
Yes, it was where the stucco was touching that wood. It was untreated wood, but evidently it was pretty good wood. It held up this long. But, you know, anytime you have concrete touching wood, and that wood is not treated, it rots. And that's what had happened here, really. And it just, I mean, it was painted real well. But over the years, that masonry and wood just, you know, it rotted wood away.
So was the water actually getting behind the stucco also?
Oh, yeah.
And that's because it's seeping through the connection with the...
Yeah, I mean, it's masonry, it's porous. You know, so it's going to go back there. And, you know, just recently they changed the code, so when you do put stucco on a house, you're supposed to use 2 vapor barriers now. And so that's what we've done. We have double vapor barriers ready to put the lath on, and then, you know, put the wood on, and then stucco in between. So, but if we use the PVC instead of the wood,
What is the thickness of the wood? Is the wood that's up there original from when the house was built?
It was.
And
It
what-
was 1 inch, just like this, well, 3/4, 1 by. So it was the same exact size, we can make this, and there was actually
So if
even a
that-
decorative board at the
So
bottom.
it's,
that
it's
we-
probably 1 inch if it's original 1 by material.
No, it
Push-
was 3/4.
Is it? Still
Mhm.
3/4? Okay.
Yeah, it was 3/4.
It was built, to my knowledge, in 1948, the same year I was born. The
Yeah,
house and I are as old as each, we are familiar friends.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's really the only difference, and we just felt like it would be a big improvement.
Would
I told him
treated wood accomplish the same thing?
it would, but here's the thing about treated wood, it shrinks. You could get kiln dried, 1 by treated, but it's still, after being on the front of that house and baking in the sun, it's gonna shrink. And so what you would need to do is cut everything, nail it on there, and wait. And leave it like that for a year, and come back and paint it, because then you'd be able to paint it, then stucco it. So it would look horrible for a year,
So you can't even do the stucco till you do that?
right?
Okay.
You gotta do the stucco after you put the wood on. Stucco's last.
the trim, since you owned the
Same,
Yes.
you
Yes.
want it to look exactly the way it did.
Yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
It-
Always
just the
been
way-
white.
Yeah.
We've never changed the colors.
Yeah, I mean, this is,
And you're not ever gonna
I mean, I
know.
own a house, 1852, it's the same thing, you know, I've actually used this material on it when others just fail time and time again, so I think what we look for here, I mean, it is, your house is set way back, that's on the 3rd floor. I did look at it, and I think if as long as it has the same profile, the same details, I'm okay with it.
Yes,
And, you know, if this was stained, that's a different story.
Right,
It's been painted,
right.
it's always been painted for the last 25 years, so that sort of sets a precedent as, you know, to what you're going to do with it. But I would move that we approve the application as submitted.
A second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Do I need to wait for a piece of paper to put in the window for,
I will
Yeah,
mail you
you'll-
a piece of paper later this week, but.
Thank you.
consider
Should we
it-
wait?
Consider it approved. You
We're
can
good to
ahead
go.
and
to
start
consider it
All right.
approved? Thank you all
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for
How'd that
your,
roof work out for you?
sir.
We left the roof.
You-
Haven't
Thank you.
touched it up.
And we were here years ago
Yeah.
with the roof, and we really appreciate the input, and you were right. That roof is far better than what the metal would be, certainly in appearance. I've just got that
I'm sure we saved you some.
male mentality of permanency. I like things 100 years from now to be just like I left it. I want to be there to see it, but I don't know. Thank you again so much.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the request of the Lynchburg Historical Foundation to add HVAC units on both sides of the Miller-Clater House, along with PVC piping and electrical circuit boxes at 2200 Miller-Clater Lane.
And I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay.
I'm on the board of the Historical Foundation. I'm actually the president of the board of the Historical Foundation.
Hi, I'm Catherine Mosley Brown. I'm the executive director of the Lynchburg Historical Foundation, and we own the property of the Miller-Clater House, which is in Riverside Park. Used to be that it was only 3 months that we couldn't use it, and with all the changing weather patterns, it's now about 6 months out of the year that we cannot use this building. It's just too hot. It's also rotting from the inside out. So we have a 2-year plan to completely renovate and restore, but it was determined that the first thing we needed to do was the HVAC to put the air conditioning in. We chose the mini splits because the units on the outside are a lot smaller. And we can get, and as in most historical buildings, there's no place for ductwork, especially in this little house. And we will have 2 mini splits on each floor going up all 3 floors so that we can use the entirety of the house. The units that will be on the outside if you're facing Miller-Clater House, the one on the left-hand side would be obscured by an existing boxwood. The garden club, Lynchburg Garden Club, maintains the gardens. And they would trim back that so we could work there, so the work can be done. On the right-hand side, there's nothing there. So we've worked with the garden club and we've come up with 2 solutions. The one that we like the best, and so does the garden club, is that we build a fence around the unit exactly like the fence that's around Miller-Clater. That will be immediate as far as hiding it. If we plant plantings there, it will take a while for them to obscure the unit. So see, there's that bush right there. It'll go behind that one. That bush is already there.
So that bush stays?
That bush stays.
Do you know how big the unit is?
Yeah, there's a picture. Do you know how?
They're approximately 32 inches wide.
There's one right there.
Well, yeah, yeah.
They're not
Almost
as,
like a good-sized suitcase, you know,
They're not-
36 inches wide. and-
So that's going to take care of, what are you having, 3 per side?
yes,
That'll take care of all 3?
yes. And the conduit that holds all the refrigerant and electrical wiring will go the entire length of the house, all 3 floors, and it'll be painted the same color as the house.
That's the more disturbing part right there.
It is. It is the more disturbing part, although having it rot from the inside out is equally as disturbing.
That's a curious statement. What's causing that?
We think it's just, there's no climate control at all.
That may not be the reason.
Well, we're hoping to get it up and
Do you know
running
what kind
now.
of insulation is in it?
No, it's just plaster, there is no insulation.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah, it's a 1791 house, and
well,
so,
I mean, I thought they might have put insulation.
no, they didn't. When they moved it in 1935, they moved it back exactly like it was, when it was on Church and 8th Street. That is the more disturbing part of it. But you see right there, it's contrasting with the green base. Ours would just be, it doesn't come up against anything but the yellow color of the house, so it would be painted.
So do we have a view of the side of the house?
Top right, get a little bit there.
Yeah, there's that,
So that's going to, I assume, go up on that, right?
Yes.
Between the door and with that black pipe? Is
yeah,
oh, is
that black
what
line
that
is where it all goes up.
Okay, so. Okay, so basically, you're saying that's gonna go up here? Straight up? Is it gonna follow the chimney?
Straight up. Can it follow the chimney?
That's going to be a little bit difficult to do, because, I mean, if the chimney were straight all the way up, you
Yeah.
could, but you've got a couple of different offsets in it, and it's going to be difficult to make that happen
Is there any way, I mean, it certainly would be better on that side,
on the back side.
because
Well,
this
there's
is the
no-
front of the house, you're gonna have this,
Well,
There's nothing over there because the porch, there's,
there's nowhere to set the outdoor unit on that side, because the steps go down in the basement on the left side of that chimney.
and the other side,
yes.
Is
that the other side?
That's the other side of the house. That's the house where all the other electrical
Yeah.
stuff is put on that,
So
on that
this is
side.
also in the front, correct?
No, that's on the
That's
side.
more,
I mean, but the front part of the side.
Oh, so you have your electrical on one side and your units and the condensers on the other.
No, I'm talking about the existing electrical
Oh,
stuff that's
existing
there,
electrical.
that's already,
It's already there.
there won't, yes, that's there, that's on the right-hand side.
yeah, that's really on the back side of the
So-
chimney, so to speak. Where
Well-
on the other side, you'd be on the front side.
I would say that, are the fireplaces used in this house at all?
No,
When it was moved, were they moved intact, or did they rebuild them at all?
no, they're not usable.
What's in the third floor? right
The
now?
third floor are 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms, and a closet, which will be used as a children's playroom and a children's bedroom.
Well,
So you selected the left side of the building, of the house, because that's where you're hanging your units on the interior?
No, there's ones going up on the inside and there's be units going up both sides of the house.
I
So
see.
there's a unit on the left and the
I
right
see.
side of the
Thank
house
you.
going all 3 floors. There were total of 6 units
Thank you.
going.
and these are the wall-mounted?
Yes, the mini splits. Mhm.
Well, my take on this would be that, A, the mini splits on the interior are going to really diminish the historical aspect of the interior. And of course, these, those, obviously you need a place to put your compressors and stuff, but this thing here, to me, there's gotta be a better solution than those. And I don't think mini splits, if that's what you have to do for mini splits, I don't think mini splits would be your answer for that house. In Rivermont, we put them through the, started at the attic, came in, put them down the chimney shaft. Another solution would be your high-velocity system, because you can fish those through walls everywhere. What kind of a crawl space is in this house?
David, you worked in
It's
it.
part of it on the left side is this stand-up basement, and then you do have crawl and, on the right side. And ductwork's not out of the question on the main floor, it's getting to the
Right.
subsequent levels.
And see, and I have the same situation, and I have the first floor from the basement,
Mhm.
and then the top floor, I have it in the attic space
Right,
coming down.
but you don't have any attic space.
We don't have any
here to
attic
work
space.
with.
Well, I mean, you don't have an attic, but you might have something up there. I just think maybe you need to look at that a little closer. I mean, really, it's such a beautiful little house. And that, both the interior and interior, I just think mini splits is just, it's going to destroy the exterior and the interior. Of course, we don't have any permit for the interior, but.
The, how much more is the other one, the other way?
Doing ductwork?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's gonna be more, I just honestly, I haven't figured that.
You know,
but-
cost is an extreme consideration. So that's the other reason for the mini splits. The other reasons for the mini splits is to be able to cut on and off and on and off when we're not using. It's more of a control.
Rick, is your concern the PVC piping on the outside? So at the Ann Spencer House, we have the mini split unit as well that you're considering for this Miller Clayton house. And what we did is we didn't use PVC pipe, we used just like the old gutter. So it matched the gutters on the house. So we ran the piping through it looked like an old gutter, and we ran it right next to the gutter. So it wasn't like a separate pipe running
Okay.
up the house. So that's just a
Is there a-
suggestion.
But we don't have
Well, you do have gutters.
downspout right over
You
there.
do. You could run
Okay.
it along with
Okay.
that.
So is it possible to run it, right where she's,
Yeah.
right up, on the, not next to it on the front, but on the side?
Or try to run it alongside with it, so then you're following something else that's
And then go
pre-existing,
in,
and you don't
I
have
guess.
something new.
I guess they'd have to go in here, correct?
Yeah, well, up on that third level, you,
And then you probably have to go up a rafter or something to get up to it.
a little ways, yes, sir. I mean, you would have something up there, you're right.
And I do agree
That's
with you.
doable.
It is on the inside. You know, it's not as obscure as we thought it was going to be.
No, they're not.
Because they kind of hang high.
They do, they do. You know, our end goal here is to put it back in use to the city. And instead of just having it sit there unused. And to open it back up to the school systems and to other historic and educational events.
You know, another option would be, I know, I understand the money option problem, but if you put some kind of mini split system, say, you know, on the third floor working down to the second, that would also, you know, cold air drops. So in the summertime, you know, I mean, and I'm saying, you know, eventually you get to the other floor, but that would at least help the humidity problem and the, you know, maybe just do it in phases, I guess is what I'm saying, if that's a possibility. I mean, do you have more use for it? I would assume you have more use for it in the summertime than in the winter. Is there
We do.
heat in this house? There must be.
Yes, there is.
There is heat.
Yes, so we do have much more use for it, much more requests for it, because when the schools are open, and they're, you know, that's when they usually do their field trips. When other people, weddings, we've had weddings and showers and parties, and hope to have business meetings and such there. So, yes. The main floor really is. The first two floors are the ones that are really used. The third floor will be, you know, for display and museum.
I would really recommend that you take a second look at this, look at what all your options are.
We did.
Oh, is that one of them?
Well, we looked at doing it in phases, and we looked at doing it in the traditional unit, the traditional type of air conditioning units, and took into consideration that they're not as obscure as you want them to be. You know, same with the Ann Spencer house and some of these older homes, the ceilings are higher, so they are more obscure. In Miller Clayton and Ann Spencer, they're a little bit lower, so they do show up more. This just seemed the most cost-effective, what we can afford to do, and would suit the needs of getting it back out there in use in the public. It never was intended just to sit there. They didn't move it there in 35 just to sit.
Did you get a quote on a high-velocity system?
We started
Which,
it. We started the process, and it just immediately became prohibitive from our standpoint. I mean, we can move it up and to put it up. I think that's an excellent idea, to make it look like the downspout, and just move it up right next to that. I love that idea.
That would be my recommendation. That's my only concern, is the PVC pipe use of that.
Yeah.
And,
The downspout.
yeah.
Okay.
The downspouts.
So I move to accept your application, not using the PVC pipe, but using something that looks like a downs,
Placing it next to the
downs-
downspout and
It's not a
using the same kind of
downspout, a
material.
gutter, some type of gutter.
Okay.
How wide would that have to be? What's the circumference?
Large, full 5-inch.
So that can fit in probably a conventional
Yeah, I think the one we used.
Commercial.
Fit in yours?
Yeah, the one we used, I think it was like I don't know if it's,
Yeah.
whatever that is, 3-inch or 4-inch diameter.
Yeah, the commercial stuff
Yeah.
is full 4.5
Yeah.
inch. The residential stuff is maybe not quite big
Yeah.
enough, because we were talking 3 line sets. But that, I don't, that's,
Can you specify what type of downspout? I think the guidelines typically talk about using round downspouts instead of the traditional
Yes.
rectangular ones.
I would specify to use the either 4 or 4.5 inch round downspout.
And then the location on this side of the house.
Would be the
And
same.
the location to follow the existing.
So it'd be on the front corner as well?
Mhm.
Would that work with the placement of the unit?
Can we place the unit, can we move the unit?
You move to the
Yeah.
front, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you could get them in the back, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be next to the.
I mean, there was, I mean,
That's the
I
front.
mean, we didn't, even, you know, in the Ann Spencer house, we did have to run a pipe from the unit on the wall, like, you know, to come down to
Yeah.
meet that pipe on the corner.
That's what you
So,
have to
you
do.
you know, you did it.
Won't that be an issue with that door there? Is that door?
That door is sealed shut, and there's steps there,
Or it's not?
where the steps would have been, and on that pad, that's where the kitchen would have been, but when the house was moved in 1935, the kitchen was lost. And everyone look in their basement, if you have wood with numbers on it, it might be my kitchen. But it hasn't shown up, so that door is sealed shut for safety.
Okay.
Would you like to second Sean's motion?
I'll second.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All right.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
Thank you, Sean, for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's a good feedback. Thank you.
The next item is the request of Antoine Davis to replace decking support, spindles, secure porch piers, remove block wall and replace with lattice, add a mini split and replace asphalt shingles on the porch with metal to match the rear at 716 Cattle Street. All right.
Hello.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
welcome.
My name is Antoine Davis, and the property address is 716 Capitol Street.
All righty. You have a lot on your plate here.
Yeah, so we've been in the process of, remodeling the home, and we have prior approval from the HPC that was administratively done because we were just replacing in-kind. But then there were some questions about the porch decking and the posts as they were removed by the contractor as they were doing the decking. And there was a lot more damage that was under that we couldn't see that we had to repair. So we're just here for some advice on the railings and the for the deck and the handrails and the spindles and everything like that. So we can kind of get a game plan together.
So the rails,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to use the ones you can or rebuild them?
Well, this is one of the railings. So
Oh,
if you
the
see,
rail- yeah,
yeah,
it's
if you see in the top right-hand picture, but these may or may not be original to the house because it looks like that the prior owner took these rails and cut them and used it at the top and the bottom. Because we looked at some other homes in the historical district, and the top rail is not the same as the bottom. Usually the bottom rail is more of a square, a little bit thicker bottom rail, and then this is on the top.
The reason it's thicker is so we have a little more.
To have more support. So
That's
if you,
why it sees it
if you see the bottom right hand where they've just basically,
They had to brace it up.
yeah, they braced it up, and then the bottom right, if you look there, you can see where it's been cut, and then they just screwed in the pieces together to make the bottom rail.
So you're gonna go back and do what it was,
We would like to,
likely to be
yeah, we
cut.
would like to, we can get these redone for the top, and then we can get these, we probably need about half of these, but we can get these remade also.
Is that what came off it?
This is what came off it, which is what the ones that are there, but these may or may not be original to the house, because they're a little bit lighter wood than what we think, so we think they were replaced in the past also. But we do want to get a thicker bottom rail, so it won't sag.
Wasn't there an issue with the height? I know I met you.
Well, we were talking about if we're not sure if we have to go back to the current building code.
What is this height? What was the height, where, this one right here, do you know?
I don't have that on hand. But it was less than what the current code is.
Because what I'm saying is, if you, if you put a thicker base at the bottom, that's gonna lift it up anyway.
Right.
So then you'd probably meet code for the 36 inches.
Okay. But we were talking about if we did raise the railings up, it wouldn't look right because of the way that the posts are on the,
This part of it here.
yeah, because you'd be coming up.
Oh, yeah, you'd be coming up too
Oh,
high.
Yeah, up too high.
Is that
Yeah.
really, is that more than 36?
I believe it is. I think it was 28 from what I can remember.
Have you talked to the building inspector about it?
No, not yet.
Because he's really gonna be the last word, not us.
Okay.
I mean, if it has to meet code, it has to meet code. Have we ever had this situation before?
Not that I remember. I'm not sure if you're gonna need a building permit or not. Did
That-
you figure
that-
that out?
That to me looks like, it's the, you have it, you know, nobody has a tape measure, I assume.
I have, yeah.
Do you? What's the height of that?
So this is 25.
25, and then that on top of it, would add
And
another
this
one,
on
2
top,
inches?
well, it's kind of set in. So. Look at that. Yeah, so we're at 25 3/4.
Let's say 26. So if you put a base on it of, say, 8 inches, that brings you up to 34, and then you need to have a minimum of 4-inch space below it, so that would give you your height. It's a matter of where the height is on that, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world. If you had to, you know, if your rail, for instance, came up to where that band is right there, you know, it almost looks like, you know, you could take this up to this, if it had to go up that high.
Okay.
So, but you really gotta talk to the building inspector. He may say, look, you know, this is where it's supposed to end, this is, you know, if you've got proof that this is where it always was, you may be grandfathered in there.
Okay.
I'm just not sure of that.
But for our purposes, other than the height, the difference you want is you want to be able to use the larger block on the bottom
Yeah.
to stabilize it.
Yeah, we believe that'd be the best because using this, it's not going to support it over the years.
And in order to do that, you don't have any drawings of that, do you, what you want to do? You almost have to, you can't really place this on a flat surface. So you gotta have some sort of water runoff.
Yeah. So you're thinking maybe cutting the bevel in the bottom of each
Have a
one?
little, yeah, if I can borrow your paper, can you
Mhm.
draw that? I guess if we could prove it here.
You can draw it on the whiteboard.
On the what?
The whiteboard.
Behind
Oh,
it.
that's right, we got a whiteboard. So this is the base. If that's the base of your spindle, there's 2 ways of doing it. You could cut your spindle like that, and then put a piece under that, like that, so that the water will come down and it'll run off that way. The other way of doing it is to have this like this. So that this is like, what's the thickness of that?
1 5/8.
You almost could get away with a 2-by, but you're a little shy there. But either one of these, you know, say cut out of a 1 by 6, or 1x8. I think 1x8 might be a little much. I think 1x6 would get you that span without sagging. The key is, however, that this, now, it may be when you sand that down, it may only be 1.5 inches, because otherwise you'd have to get this milled. But it should equal or exceed, it can exceed that. So if you wanted to, put two together, two pieces of something together so that the base is actually a little wider, that's fine.
Okay.
So I don't know how we determine that at this point, because you don't really know how you're gonna do that. That's, I don't know how we would approve that.
It looks like there's two options. You can approve both.
All right, you want me to, are we doing all these separately?
It's up to you.
Let's do.
I move that the rail be approved as submitted with the top piece being reproduced and the base being a heavier base, either approximately 6 to 8 inches. It gives you a little leeway. The base needs to be at least the thickness of the base of the spindle or wider. And the height of the rail can be at its historical height if the code official will allow that. Otherwise, it would have to meet the height of the code requirements.
I second
Will you
So
repeat
you're
it?
saying the base has to be 6 to 8 inches,
Yeah.
like this thick?
Like, it could be cut from like a 2x6, which would be 5.5 inches.
Okay.
So the
Seems-
So-
That seems kind of large.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does to me too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wanna cut it, I mean, it could be from a 2x4, 4 inches. All right, let's just say 4 to 6 inches for your base.
But wouldn't they normally have only been like 2 inches?
Yeah.
No,
No?
I mean, look at my house. Mine's pretty wide, pretty heavy. Well, let me put it this way.
But we don't know what was on this house.
No,
It
it,
just-
it really depends on the span. I mean, if you look at a historical, I mean, these spindles aren't even original to that house. You wouldn't have had, these are interior spindles. But that's what's there now.
Why wouldn't we just say an appropriate width for the span, a heavier base at an appropriate width for the span?
Well, that's what we are saying. We're just saying 4 to 6 inches.
Could we do something like
Would be an appropriate width. Yeah. Whose house is that?
4 inches is that big, I've never seen one with that.
Yeah, it's
I've
a
never seen
lot,
one that
yeah.
big.
It's usually down at your feet, so you're probably not.
Can you?
I know what mine is, mine's probably 2.5.
It's probably 2.5 to 3 inches. Maybe 3 inches,
There you go.
4 inches max. Have you shopped for samples?
No, but I did
For
drive through
replacement
the
wood?
neighborhood and took a couple of pictures of some, the neighbors' houses
Yeah.
that I think may have something.
I'm trying to look at, this is not quite,
It's not quite, now their top rail is a lot thicker than this,
but I'm looking at this. This is 6 inches.
and there's
No, we're
probably,
looking at the,
cut a little bit shorter, I
we're looking at
guess.
the base, aren't we?
Oh, are you talking about the base on the spindle is
No, no,
Yeah, I was
no,
just
no,
trying
I'm
to.
not- I'm not talking
I
about.
know, I know you're not, I'm trying to compare.
Oh.
That is, so that's probably, that one's obviously much shorter, so that's probably 5 inches. And this, I would say 4 at most, yeah, but that's just me. Good picture. I just, is that a structural issue that would be driven by the span?
Yes,
So wouldn't they make that call with the span?
but even with that.
Well, I mean, isn't that a call that the contractor would make based on the span and,
It wouldn't depend on the contractor. What's my house doing
Yeah, that's, yeah, for the roof sample. That's your garage.
in there? All right,
So
yeah,
look
it is based on the span. And I have a massive water by house, and it's still sagged. You know, we had to put a support under it. But it depends on the spindles. Some spindles are heavier than others, and, you know,
I
But-
mean, I don't know why we can't just say that we approve the porch railings as submitted, height at historical height or as required by code, and a heavier base based on,
an appropriate base.
an appropriate
An
base
appropriate-
based
there
on
you
the
go, this
span.
by house right
It would
here.
be, it would be called a bottom rail,
And that's so good.
not, so, an appropriate bottom
Did you
rail.
do
With
this?
the
And
bottom
an
rail
appropriate top rail,
At
Can
appropriate,
you
yeah.
close in on that?
handrail.
I mean, I can, but it's gonna be blurrier.
I mean, there's so many different variances.
So,
I
you
mean,
see the height on that one? It's massive. And the one on top, see that, the top rail on the top of the porch? Way up. Yeah, that one. The base on that was the same as the base on the lower ones, and that whole thing sagged. And it was a huge, massive base on that thing.
But look at the scale of the front of this house versus the
Hmm.
scale of the house on Cabell Street, you know,
Yeah,
you probably have to, you have to
spindles.
keep that in.
Yeah.
They're not, they're really light.
Yeah.
They're-
So, yeah.
You have to keep the scale in mind.
Yeah,
I think it would be,
exactly.
I think it would be
Yeah.
good for, Mr. Davis, for you to, you know, just to kind of get some samples and to
Okay.
see, you know, bring those back. I don't know if that's gonna delay your,
It won't.
okay, on this, just to,
And they-
Talk to your contractor and see what the.
You know, bring
load
some
is.
What's that
samples-
red house right there?
bring
What's
some
that?
samples back of what you like and,
Okay.
you know, for us to consider it from there.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I'm fine with 4 inches. I mean, that's fine.
I just don't want him to purchase something that's too overdone
So
for the
let
size
me
of his
amend
house.
the approval, the base to be 4 to 6 inches in height of that.
That's not 4 inches.
The base
You think it's 4 inches? I don't think that's 4 inches.
was 4 inches to me. Maybe less. You want to make it less?
No, I don't want to make it less.
I mean, what's 4 inches?
I just don't know if we should
What's
put,
this?
I don't know if we should put a size.
Yeah, I just don't know if we should put a
I don't think we
So-
should put a size on it.
So I'm okay if you want me to bring back samples of
I
what
think
we
it should be
looking to
appropriate to the-
So
replace.
to
this is
scale of
5
your
and a half
house.
right here, this whole thing. So, you know, 3 is way up
Yeah.
here, it's just a little.
Because he's also considering new spindles as well, right? Or are you
Well,
gonna?
we're gonna have to either get these reproduced. It's not enough to do the entire porch anyway. So, like I say, I have about half of what's needed. So, I mean, if I need to get new ones, I can do that too.
Do you like those spindles?
They're okay. I'm okay with them. I mean, I think they are accurate looking at some of the other houses.
So either we can approve it by saying a bottom rail that's appropriate to the scale of the house and the construction needs, or we can ask him to bring back a sample.
So we have a motion on the floor that's been seconded. So I guess we need to amend it, or,
It's a burden on staff for enforcing, because I'm not sure I know what's appropriate. So I'd rather have something specific. to go
Something
off
I mean, I
of the
think
range.
we just said something specific.
Mhm.
Rick did,
Yep.
yeah.
4
Yeah,
to
the motion
6.
has 4 to 6 inches.
So just withdraw the motion, the motion's withdrawn, move to withdraw the motion, and he'll bring us a,
You want to come back with samples? So
Yeah.
you guys should table it then. So do you want to withdraw your motion, Rick, or are you ready? Do you want it voted
No.
on?
I think it's fine what he's doing. I'll go with my
Okay.
motion.
Was there a second?
Beth seconded.
I had
Yeah.
seconded it, but upon reflection, I went, no. But that's okay,
I can
I'm
still
new,
vote
I'm
against
sorry.
it.
Yeah, I'd almost like to see it rather than, but anyway.
Okay, are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Of Rick's motion, aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed.
No,
So what do we do? I don't know.
I'm not good on my parliamentary procedures.
Normally, the
It would
chair
die.
of a committee doesn't vote except
Okay.
for tie. So.
And they can either make or break a
Right.
tie.
Make a break
So in
tie,
this
but
case-
I don't know if you follow those rules, that's normally how it is.
Even though I'm not the chair?
Well, you're
Does that
chairing-
matter?
you're chairing the-
If it's a tie, does it just get tabled?
And I don't know if you have any, I'll be honest, I didn't read the rules close enough to see what, if a tie wins or loses,
And I'm not sure.
passes or fails.
We
So we don't know any of that.
don't know.
Well, I don't know if this will help, but if you take a 2x4, which most houses with that height there, it's gonna be a 2x4 band that goes at the bottom, which is really 3.5 inches. And you need an air gap there to keep the wood from rotting because it's just on the edge. By the time you come up on those posts have already been cut. He's gonna be up in the decorative part of the post, and that's what you guys are trying to avoid, right? I mean, if you look at where it's at now on the post, the height of it, you can't go up 6 inches. At best, you can go up as maybe another inch or two on that post. So he's already into the critical design stage of it. And if you put a 2x4, which is 3.5 inches at the bottom, you gotta leave at least an inch or so air gap. If not, it's gonna rot. And he's gonna be back here redoing it all over again. I'm just saying, it ain't for so high he can go up. And you don't have to do it by city code, because it's just a repair and replace. So he's not gonna have to go through city to pull a permit to actually rehab it, to bring it up to code. It's okay at that height, because that's what it was when he got there.
So what you're saying tack a 2x4 on either side of the
Well,
base.
he might put a 2x4 band at the bottom like you're talking about, Rick, standing upright, but that's as high as he's gonna be able to go up is 2x4, which is 3.5 inches off that base, because you still got a half inch. And look how high he's gonna already be up on the profile of that post, which is not a real good way of securing it, because the post has got it's got those,
And I'm fine with that. I mean, anything's better looking than having, what's there, which is nothing.
Yeah. And then that's not gonna last long anyway. It's gonna rot out again
Right.
every 2 or 3 years. He's gonna be repainted.
So your suggestion is a 2x4?
And it's the only thing that's gonna really work. And like Rick said, tying it into that 2x4 with water runs off of it, standing up on, up on the end to make it strong and secure. That's the only way he can do it. Anything bigger than that, it's gonna be so high up on the post, you're not gonna like the look of it.
The problem is that the 2x4 is thinner than this.
Well, but by the time you caulk around it, it's gonna be okay. It's mainly when the water wash off of it. It's just when water stands that it causes it to rot. But so long as it's coming down and washing off of it, he's okay. I just caulk around it right at the bottom while he's painting it up real nice. And it should last. That's, I don't know.
That's why I think you bringing some samples would be great.
Okay.
I'd like to
Motion to table. How about,
Yeah, I guess-
is there a motion to table potentially?
Figure out exactly how you want to do that
Okay.
base, I guess, and bring
Yeah, I'd make a motion to table,
Is there a second to table? Well, then the motion dies, right? I would second it, but if I can, I won't.
Wait a minute. Do you mind doing that?
No.
All right, I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. The motion is tabled and you,
Now, to the brick wall, to the block wall.
The block wall, which is below the current deck, and when it was installed, there's no footer under the block. There's
Oh,
no
my goodness.
concrete. It's just installed
Oh,
on
my
the dirt.
goodness.
You can see that, and they're about to fall over. You could literally push. You can see at the bottom there.
That's not original.
No, it's not.
So you want to remove that?
We want to remove that. The piers, they need to be redone also, because they are not secure, and we want to put lattice in between, like we've seen on a lot of the other homes.
The lattice in between is fine as long as it's framed lattice?
Yes.
You don't use frames?
Yeah, we're framing.
Okay.
And put it in between the.
It'd be great if you can get the square instead of the diagonal,
we
which
can
is
do
more
square.
historic,
Okay.
but not necessary.
I move that the application be approved as follows. Block be removed, brick piers be rebuilt as shown, as originals, and the lattice work be installed, framed, and set back, not flush with the brick piers. Anyone want to add how far back they want them?
Is there a
It's
second?
only so far, you can go back on that,
Yeah.
the piers.
It's nice if you can set the frame flush with the rear of the piers, and that way it sets them in, gives you a nice shadow line for the front part of it,
I second that.
as opposed to the other one there, that you can see on the side.
I think you can control the slides. With the buttons on the pointer.
Okay, is there further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Don't forget the decking.
okay.
Decking?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
the first item.
Yeah. So when we purchased the home, it has treated lumber. That's that bottom right picture there.
And then did you start putting in this?
We did.
So that changed from the boards.
So what did you go the opposite direction?
Yeah, so the contractor went, the opposite direction than what was there.
But that's pressure treated?
That's pressure treated.
What was there was pressure treated?
Yes.
I mean, actually, that gives a neater appearance that way. So where are the butt ends, on the sides?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an issue with that. Because it's not the original porch, what was there wasn't the original porch flooring anyway. And pressure treated, as you can see, does that. So, are you painting it or leaving it natural?
For right now, we're gonna leave it natural, but we'll probably paint it next year.
Might be
Or-
better off leaving it natural
or-
unless you're
or-
painting unless you're priming the underside.
Yeah.
Because once you paint one side, then the other side breathes and that's what kind of makes it cup. So I move that the decking be approved as installed. It's already installed, right?
Okay, is there a second?
I second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion carries.
Mini split and asphalt shingles on the porch.
The roofs, okay.
Is that?
Yeah, so the current house currently has heat pumps there on the side. We're gonna replace those and put them in the exact same location. But it has a sunroom on the back that was put on about 20 years ago. And we want to put a mini split on the
That's the back of the
side.
house.
That's the back.
Mm.
Okay. So what's back there now?
It's nothing. Yeah, it's just a sunroom. This is an enclosed sunroom. But it doesn't have any heating or cooling in it.
So point with the pointer where that would,
Yeah, right where her pointer is.
okay.
Okay.
So how are you proposing, you were here for the last conversation with the mini split of how to run the conduit?
Yeah, so it's gonna go, it would go, like say, on the side and then right into the sunroom. Let's see. Yeah,
Probably not gonna see it.
most of those bushes aren't there, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see much of anything back there.
mm-mm.
Um, I move that be approved as submitted for a mini split.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So we have the asphalt shingles on the porch.
All right, so currently the front porch has asphalt shingles. They're at the end of their life. The left-hand corner of the porch is sagging, and we're gonna probably have to tear off the roof to get to it. It's gonna be less invasive than having to tear out the tongue and groove ceiling on the porch. And so we'd like to replace it with metal to kind of match the metal that's on the current edition.
You want to change the asphalt roof to metal roof?
To metal, yes.
And what is the house roof? Is that slate?
That's slate.
And so you have another roof that's metal on the house?
Yes, it has a rear addition on the back, single-story addition that contains the kitchen and then the sunroom. And that's a metal roof there.
Really, that asphalt roof, that pitch is not really adequate for that asphalt roof anyway. So,
What color are you gonna paint the?
As close as we can. It's well, the addition has barn red on it, and the gentleman said that color that's there, we have a sample of it that has the E on it.
that's called terracotta.
And there should be another picture that has the sample, the red that has the E in it. That was, yeah, that. So he said that would be the closest in color-wise to barn red in the metal.
Well, barn red is very red. You got barn red, you got colonial red, I think is another one, and then you got terracotta. Those are the three reds, and they're all very different. Barn red is really red. That's terracotta.
But it will match the existing roof that you have, the existing metal roof on the sunroom.
We'll try to get it whatever, as close as color we can.
As close as you
Yeah,
can.
because that middle, the roof that's on the rear has been repainted. So like I say, when we looked in the HPC, the prior owner probably 15, 20 years ago repainted that barn red, is what they call it. But so we were trying to find something that's in the metal roof color that's closest to it.
Are you thinking about keeping the red shutters?
No, we're looking to remove the shutters.
You're gonna remove the shutters? I was just thinking about all these reds that you'll have.
Yeah.
He's asking to remove the shutters.
Yeah, I asked to remove the shutters. They're not original,
And they're the wrong size.
and they're the wrong side. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just caution you for the color. It's too bad we don't have any pictures of what that, I mean, the rear roof is painted anyway, but you're not gonna really, you don't really see that rear roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't want too many reds going on, you don't want too much going on.
Yeah, so color-wise, is there any way you could maybe get up on that roof, put that little color sample next to it, send a picture, I don't know
Mhm.
if you can administratively approve that.
We can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my only concern, just to make sure that
It's
the,
as close as we can to the existing.
I like the one on the left, it's a pretty color.
Yeah.
That's your fault. As long as you all go ahead and approve the change, we'll approve the color. So it's a change from the asphalt to the metal.
Yeah.
I move that we approve his request to change to the metal and allow for the color to be administratively approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So I think we're done with that.
Shutters.
Oh, the shutters?
The privacy fence.
Oh. The next one,
I think we were approving the shutters administratively.
Yeah.
Because we
Okay.
did find an old
That's-
photograph in our old albums that showed that there were no shutters.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to speak now to the privacy fence at 405 Harrison?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the current fence that's there is about to fall off. So our fence in the bottom. Okay, so in the bottom photo, our fence is on the right. The neighbor's fence, which I believe is 409 Harrison, is on the left. And they have done that privacy fence that's all the way down the property line. And they've done a nice gate. So we would just like to duplicate what they've done there, because as you can see, ours fence is about to fall off.
So pretty much just follow that line.
Yep, just follow that line right where it is. Just replace everything that's right there, and with a gate, just like they have. And then it's a 6-foot privacy fence with 2 foot of lattice in the diagonal over top.
Same material?
Same material.
And it does meet the guidelines as far as setting back from the front of the house. And I did go out there. How far, that's pretty far back from
It's
the-
pretty far back. Yeah, there's a black metal fence in the front of the
Right.
yard.
I move that we approve as submitted for the fence to match the neighbors.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis, and we'll
Uh,
see you.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
another,
We have one more thing.
yeah, a couple other
Repair.
things. Yes,
Not done yet.
yeah.
Busy with this one.
Okay.
And also, there's a shed that's on the back of the property that you can see in the 3 pictures at the top. And so that shed, and it's some of the block, it's unsettled. There's a hole in the roof. It has asphalt shingles. Now, the top right hand, that is on the addition on the house that was built about 20 years ago. It has just 3-tab asphalt shingles. So for both the shed and the addition, we'd like to replace the shingle roof with metal. And then also, of course, repair the center block walls that are forming cracks in them.
And the main house is
The main house has
slate.
slate, and then a metal roof on the front porch.
Are you replacing the front porch or is that staying?
Front porch is stained, but we may have to replace the metal roof on the front porch.
Do you know what kind of metal, actually, I asked at the last one, do you know what type of metal roof? Do you have a sample of the metal roof, or what you're considering for either in the other property?
That we're putting on?
Yeah.
I don't
Do you
have a
have a-
sample.
Do you have a sample?
I don't.
So the front porch already has a metal roof.
Front porch already has a metal roof, but it's either gonna need to be, it may need to be replaced.
Is it, what color is it? Is that red?
No, it's,
So what color are you proposing for the
It looks like it might be
rears?
red.
So the front roof is not part of this, right? The front metal?
No.
It's just.
well, we were gonna just do in-kind replacement to the metal roof. See, it's metal, it's all rusted. I don't know what the original color was.
Okay.
Oh, so that's rust, not red? That's
Yeah.
red. Okay.
Oh,
So-
I see.
And the color for the rear?
It's gonna be red, the same red.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which roof is it? This one?
That-
Or is it this one also?
Well, where your cursor is right now, that's this 2-story part of the addition, and where your cursor was before, that's the 1-story part of the addition, and all that is just 3-tab shingles.
Both.
Yes, both of
It's
those.
what?
3-tab shingles, asphalt shingles.
That's metal there.
So you're already asking to replace the asphalt the asphalt shingles with the metal?
Yes, for the
On the
addition.
rear addition?
On the rear addition, and also on the
that
shed.
storage shed.
Yes.
All right, I move to,
So I guess my question about the metal, is it gonna be, I mean, do you know how wide? I mean, Is it gonna be similar to the metal roof that you're,
It'd be similar to the metal roof that's on the front as far
and the
as
same
profile.
look of it, it's the
Yeah,
profile
same
and
look.
the width of the,
The ribs, yeah.
okay.
Rick, did you make a motion?
I'll move that it be approved as submitted. Color, has the color been approved, or is that administrative?
You tell me. Is it approvable?
I think the color needs to be approved administratively,
Okay.
because I can't tell by that, unless you don't have a sample here with you, do you?
No.
I can't tell by that picture. I mean, that picture with the red that you're showing us, that barn red, doesn't look like the barn red I'm familiar with. It looks more like, to me, it looks more like a coppery color in
Yeah,
here.
and it's also hard to tell from the photograph
Yeah.
exactly what color that red is.
Say that again?
I said it's also hard to tell
Yeah.
from the photograph exactly the
Yeah,
shade
what
of
what is
red.
that one?
See, that's the color, the colonial red is what we're proposing.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you, now we
And
can
the
see
top color, that's the
okay,
color
gotcha.
that's on your house.
Yeah, that's so,
Yeah.
okay, so there's
So-
your colonial red.
Is this your
Colonial red.
sample?
And there's the terracotta above it.
Yeah, that's what I took a picture of what the contractor
Okay.
had.
Okay.
And you
Yeah.
want to put the,
Colonial red,
I mean, I'm fine with that.
would you say would be the closest?
It's just a little darker
Yeah.
than the terracotta.
So would you mind repeating your motion, Rick?
I move that it be submitted as requested to replace the rear roof asphalt shingle with metal and also the rear shed with metal in the colonial red color.
Okay, is there a second?
I second that.
Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So we will see you next
Yes.
meeting.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
You're getting to be a regular.
Just like Tony.
Now, do we do our old business, or should we go back to Mr. Newton's request first?
Up to you.
Well, then let's hear from Mr. West. All right, Mr. West, if you will tell us your name and address again. and-
Tony West, 205 Trench Ferry Road.
All right, and tell us what you're proposing.
I think we're just doing the colors right, black and white.
And the gutters.
And the gutters, yes ma'am. If you look on the front of the building, part of it's OG, some of it's OG on there. And some of it's like right there where the point's at. And I just want to do, yeah, right there, OG gutters around through there. Corner right at the top. Right there, it's OG gutters, and I just want to go back with the OG as opposed to the half round. Half of it, because of the volume of water that's coming off the roof, it can just, you know, they attach better, and it's a better roof for us.
What's up there now?
Right there is OG, right there is half round. So you got a combination throughout the building.
Okay. So it's the gutters and the color of the shutters? Is that
Yeah,
what-
yeah, I'm putting the shutters black, the doors black, and on these walls here are gonna be white. Where the brick was already painted at, we're gonna go back white, and the green's gonna stay what the green once was.
What, white?
The colors you had here,
You said green. What did you say? What's
garden
green?
sage, oh, that's.
Garden, well, sage, I call it green now.
Oh, brick
Yeah.
green.
So you're leaving that just like it is right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What we did, I just painted the windows the same color as what they had the front entryway already as. See that? All the windows got trimmed out that same lighter green.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And the gold where it's
That's
painted,
gone. That's gone. It's gonna be white. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Or some sort of white there. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe a cream or a...
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay.
So the guidelines, those say that OG gutters are not ideal, but you're saying that it's got OG gutters now and is,
Yes, ma'am. Right there. You can see them right there. Yes, ma'am. Part of it's OG, part of it's half round.
So you're replacing in kind, basically?
Yeah, yeah. But I want to just put everything back as OG. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
So he wants to take off the half round.
But half round, because they came off and we replaced the shingles anyway. You know, once you take the shingles off, they're going to knock them off of there. And they help with the volume of water that comes off the building.
So you're saying the OG does a better job than the half round?
Than the half round, yes, sir. Especially for one reason, they're attached a lot solid on the roof, and you got a lot of water. I mean, you can't tell from this version, but if you look at the side view, it's a pretty steep roof, and a lot of volume of water is coming off of there. And the OG tends to catch the water better.
I would think that would be determined more by the size of the gutter than the
Well,
shape.
well, the size also, yeah, that's what it really is, the size,
You put
yes,
a
sir.
Larger half round?
Yeah, but that gets probably 3 times the cost.
For, you
For a half round compared to an OG, yes, sir. And since I already had OG on the building also.
How much of it, of the whole building is OG and how much is half round?
It's probably 30% OG, probably more 60-70% half
I
round.
would say that.
But all the half round came off anyway when they were turning the roof off and putting a new roof
Half round would
on.
be original, would it?
Pardon me?
Would the half round be original mostly? The OG would have been a replacement?
Yeah,
think?
well, it's hard to tell because, I mean, it seems like, I guess certain areas call for certain different materials, so who knows? At one time, it probably had hidden gutters and everything in it, but they've whacked it off and done whatever over the
Yeah,
years.
probably did have hidden gutters.
Yes,
Hidden
ma'am.
gutters are a mixed plus.
Yeah, trust me, I'm glad they're gone.
I'll say 14
So these gutters look like they're separated from the,
From the roof structure, yes, sir. They weren't attached very well, so when the guys got up and redone the roof, you know, they fell off pretty quickly there. Most of the water ran over top of them anyway, under them, around them, whatever.
and so the OG would be installed away from the fascia like that one? Or?
Well, the face is gonna be there, but it would be just attached a lot better, because that, you know, that stuff wasn't really catching any water. It was running down and just running on with the building, which caused a lot of rotting inside of the building.
Can you
because
find a picture of the OG on there?
It's right there. Yeah, yeah.
That's half round.
Mm-hmm. That's half round right there.
Where's the OG?
Right. See that?
It's just over the balcony kind of thing.
Yeah, and then in certain sections on the back or something, they had it there. Yes, sir.
It does give it a quite different look.
And it's a better, cleaner look. To me, the OG is a better, cleaner look to me. You don't even notice it as much. I prefer when things disappear, but I'm not.
I think it's a newer look, I think, to a more modern house. I think that the OG is. I think that the half round,
Yeah.
to me, is more appropriate for the date of the building.
Mm-hmm. It's a half round there, yeah.
How old do you think those gutters are up there?
They're probably pretty old. I don't know.
So,
I think it was a mixed bag of everything in there, you know, repaired here, there, over time, some old, some whatever.
Why are half round more expensive than OG?
Because nobody uses it anymore.
Yeah.
If you don't use something, it tends to run the cost up a lot.
they have they have plastic ones now. Have you
I
priced
think
those?
it's also a different gauge.
Yeah,
fabric.
but plastic's not, I mean, it's still gonna cost you a lot more because you don't, you know, nobody makes it. I mean, if you don't mass produce something,
I think it's also the gauge in the metal, don't you think? The half round is a heavier gauge metal. It's a totally different
yeah,
design.
and it's gonna rot
product.
a lot faster. Where
Yeah.
you go back with an OG, it's an aluminum.
Yeah.
And aluminum's not gonna rot, so therefore, I mean,
And it's a
you know, I'm
lighter- it's
not
a lighter
living
weight.
here. Yeah, I'm just, you know, it's an apartment complex, so I want it to last as long to keep the appearance up as long as possible. And with metal, you tend to always have to.
What about with like the weight of ice and snow with OGs?
OGs works. They own every home in America pretty much
Yeah,
now.
that- yeah, I mean, I
You
know
know,
that,
I
I know
mean,
that in
that's-
every home in America, every home in America that, I don't know.
I mean, I think the guidelines kind of frown upon changing from, I don't have them in front of me, but changing from half round to OG, we kind of frown upon OG. Yeah, see, not OG gutters, there it is right there.
Yeah.
attitude, yeah. So we'd actually have to go against the guidelines to approve that.
And I am, by the way, so glad to see you fixing that building up. I think it's a
Thank you.
wonderful thing.
Yeah,
but I'm
we're all glad to see you
real
fixing up.
comfortable with
It's
that.
like we got an issue here with the, with the guidelines. So, I mean, in what we do is interpret the guidelines now. I don't know if anyone
Understand.
else wants to have an input on that, but I kind of thought that right from the start.
It's kind of like judges, we call balls and strikes, we don't make the rules.
That's, I understand,
And
yes, ma'am.
that's clearly kind of contrary to the rules.
So would we like to consider the paint first and then move to the gutters?
On this little rendition you did the paint colors on, it looks like that backdrop color against the wall is the same as the trim color, which I think is actually fine. I'm just wondering if you're gonna put that brick white, if that's not gonna kind of pop out from everything else. Or maybe that's what you wanted to do, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
We
my-
had-
it's my
To be
understanding-
honest with you, I hadn't decided all the way yet, but I knew I was gonna end up using those colors. So I just gave them to you guys, and then as it comes, you know, cause you paint something 2 or 3 times to see what actually works, to what gives the best appearance, to work best wearability, all that stuff. And you're right, the white probably wouldn't end up being the color, but I just had to submit something, and it would end up being those colors and or the green, because I don't want people to come up, put their feet on the wall, and then have a mark there that you can see. So it probably would being a green or something
The
different.
white
West,
is
you're
actually
talking
not
about
a
this-
white, it's a cream. It's
You're
called
You're talking
Yeah.
about the space inside that you now have painted green on the building, right? Are you talking about painting that
Well,
white,
it's
or-
gold right now if you wrote by there, around the
Yeah.
brick area. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Is that the green, or have you painted it now, the white?
No, I hadn't painted it yet.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
But that's
Just-
that's what you're considering
So,
painting white?
yes, ma'am.
And it's not
Right.
white, it's
Yes.
creamy white.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
a, off- yeah, like
I mean, I don't have any
a, like a
problem with
cream,
those.
like a cream color?
Mhm. That's what we had first, but I mean, so whatever you guys tell me, I'm just trying to, whatever, get it worked out.
And this is
I will
before,
say that this is a, this is a, I'm sorry, a colonial revival, and the trim and accents are white, off-white, and cream.
That's why I just chose, well, she's, you know, that's what you guys said you use.
The
so.
green was why Victoria elected to send this to you guys, is
Yeah.
because of the green.
but I think we talked about colors the last time you were here.
Yeah.
And that's when we went with the
Yeah.
black and white, and that's why I
Well,
went with the
and
black and
gold.
white. Yeah,
The
yeah,
gold has now gone away.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just the
You got rid of
white.
the gold.
yeah.
But I think we were okay with the green because it's,
Yeah.
It was already
it's
green.
there,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. And so we weren't changing
The
that.
lighter trim green around the windows.
Mm-hmm, yes, ma'am.
I move that we approve the color combination as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
We
you.
got the colors. Okay, let's consider the gutters.
Have you looked at whether there is some other, the half rounds and some other material?
I mean, I'll go back with the half round. I mean, I was coming, so I was asking. I don't know.
Yeah,
I see
I'm
that's it's gonna be half round, so I will put half round back.
I'm
You
just
know,
really-
I think the problem with this building is that, you're probably right, there was probably another system on there. So probably any kind of gutter on this building is gonna may be inadequate, you know, unless you put a real heavy-duty,
That's why we use like a 5,
Oversized.
6 inch
yeah. I think
OG
you
on
have
it.
to.
That way it would cover the volume of water.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the guidelines just say pretty much no to OG unless you have it there already. So if you want to replace that front porch with an OG,
Mm-hmm.
it's in kind, you can do that.
Gotcha.
But
The
since
rest of it you gotta
since
go
the
back.
guidelines frown upon OG to begin with, for us to change an existing half round to an OG, I think is gonna be a stretch.
Yes, sir. No, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, are you replacing the front OG too?
Yeah, everything's getting replaced on there.
All right, so I'll make a motion that the front porch gutter can be replaced in kind with OG gutters. The remainder of the building that already has half-round would have to be replaced with half-round, but he can do a larger size as determined by the flow of the water or rain.
If you replaced everything else with half round, wouldn't you do half round
Yeah, I
on
was
the
just
porch too?
do that one little section with OG.
Well, it might not attach the same way. If you looked
Okay.
at the real snug, tight
Okay.
fit right there, and it's just a flat little metal roof there, so it may not attach.
Is there a second?
A second.
Further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. West.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, the only other item on our agenda is action item C, the request of Dennis Newton to build a shed roof entrance canopy over the basement entrance on the right-hand side of the house at 505 Washington Street. And we can either vote on this today or table it.
Until August.
So what is your pleasure?
Is it visible from the street?
It's not visible just from a drive-by. I didn't get around and walk, but it wasn't visible from, but there's all sorts of
Oh,
stuff
there's a-
all
there is a
over
picture.
this house.
I mean, I would, let's see, let me see that drawing.
The only
again.
thing is that I would like to talk to him about the drawing, because he said it's similar to the other ones, but not that similar. The other ones have this little peaky roof.
Yeah, so,
And-
so he wants a shed. I think he was just showing the fact that they do have these little sheds. Yeah, we don't, all right. So I
See
mean-
how those have those little peaky roofs?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want that. Okay.
That's what's on there now.
Now, go up, go up the other way.
Go down.
Yeah, let's see that. That's what he's proposing. So he's got a pitch in it. So he's got a drawing there, so I would, do we have to make a motion to?
Go
To
back. Can you go
table,
back?
or-
I want to just make sure I'm,
To this one?
no, back to the pictures.
You're talking about the gable end. You don't want it gabled. Right?
Is this the house itself?
No.
I didn't
Somewhere
walk
else on
around
the
on the
house, I
side.
believe.
Huh?
I think this is somewhere else on the house.
Yeah. That's what he said he wants it to be like. And the drawing he's given us is not like that. It might not matter on a basement in the back that you can't see.
Yeah, I don't like the ones I don't like those. Those are really inappropriate for that house.
Yeah.
Those
And so you
gables.
think that's
This-
actually
this-
more appropriate?
Yes, that's much more appropriate.
So shall we table it?
Well, he's also talking about putting metal in this one, and he doesn't have metal on the others.
No,
does
he
he?
doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So, but I was just looking at it, it said he wanted to put something similar to the
Yeah.
others, and what he's putting is not actually similar to the
Well, why
others.
don't, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion that it be approved based on the drawings, the hand-drawn drawings that he submitted,
So
With the
just a
application.
plain,
and a metal roof. Color to be approved administratively.
And all the pressure on staff.
So you guys don't think those original gable roofs, pointy roofs are?
No.
Those,
Mm.
that's definitely not
Yeah.
original to the house.
Especially that little curly Q.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's way too heavy, I think. I don't think that's.
On Washington Street?
Yeah.
No. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh,
All
I see.
right.
I meant, oh, I'm sorry.
The motion carries. And our next meeting is August 19th. And Ann will not be with us, is that right,
I
Ann?
will not be here.
She's
Victoria will
moving
be your
on.
new staff contact
Okay.
moving forward. I'll attend meetings after August. I'm just on vacation that date.
Yeah,
But Victoria will be the main staff
okay.
contact.
Well, we'll miss you as our main contact.
I'll miss you guys too.
Okay.
Tom, you,
Kevin?
Kevin, that's right.
Yeah.
Now Victoria.
And the little thing about the chimney,
Demolition.
we're tabling that as well.
Yeah, we couldn't get Keith Wright here today. He's on vacation this week, so we're gonna come back to you for a bigger discussion once he's available. And turns out not many of you were available either, so I think
Yeah.
it'd be good to have the whole commission here for that. So I will probably be back for that discussion. We might not do that until September.
September?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any further business from the, if not, I declare us adjourned. Thank you.